These are the Miss USA 2023 frontrunners. Hi, my name is Dani Walker. Thanks for clicking on this episode. If you like content like this, please consider supporting the channel by hitting the super thanks button, joining memberships, or of course, subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna share with you now my top favorites for the Miss USA 2023 competition prior to the preliminary competition. Some of you have been asking where you can view contestant profiles. Those are available on MissUSA.com under the People's Choice tab. One thing that bummed me out this year though that I will say is that when you click on a contestant, you can't just scroll through to the next. You have to click the back button, get to all the contestants again, then click on the next contestant that you want to see. And in the past, you were able to scroll through the contestants. So someone please talk to the web designer. Let's update that. And also, why are the contestant profiles not connected to their social media profiles like they are in so many other countries? I don't understand it. It's such a missed opportunity to promote the contestants and the organization in general. Other thing I'm bummed out about this year is we didn't have the Cancun trip, so we didn't have a lot of extra footage of the contestants walking, interacting. We didn't really get to see a lot of their style. It's just a bummer. It is what it is. I really hope that the trips come back next year. Let's discuss these ladies in no particular order. Missouri. She is a graduate of the University of Missouri with a degree in journalism and minor in business administration. Autumn currently works at one of the largest technology companies in the world as a social media manager. She has authored and published over 40 articles on various topics, served as a digital correspondent, led global teams, and hosted a show to prepare students for the real world. As the founder of the Flawless Movement, Autumn provides resources for students to become career ready and tech savvy. That is so relevant and so useful. I love that. What a great thing to share about at Miss USA. She has a very confident walk. I do hope though that she'll change up her facials, that she's been working on that leading up to Miss USA. And I have to say, I do really love her headshot. And when I really just dove into her more and learned more about her, I was like, I think she should have been in my favorite headshots episode. It's a great image. She's very facially beautiful. North Carolina, very excited about her. Obviously, North Carolina, a very competitive state in recent years. Okay, they've had winners, they've had a lot of placements. So let's take a look at her. She currently works for the global leading women's health company, Hologic. She is one of 6 surgical specialists in the country for an innovative procedure that helps women combat uterine fibroids. During her year, she wants to be a driving force for unparalleled support with mental health in schools and form a curriculum for students through their entire education. Love that idea. Jordan hopes to be an example of #BeBoth, which advocates for others to not conform themselves to one label in life. Here's another example of beauty and brains. She has a great walk, she's super fit, she's very beautiful, clearly she's intelligent, so look out for North Carolina. I haven't heard as many people talking about Oregon as they should. Listen to this. She is a physicist, an actor, model, author, nonprofit founder, and the reigning Miss Oregon USA. Since dreaming about becoming an astronaut at a young age, Manju has worked at 2 NASA centers on the Orion spacecraft, as well as at the White House on science policy. She is now a science astronaut candidate training to one day conduct research in space. She has worked with Beyonce and the Brown Skin Girl music video and shot with Sports Illustrated Swim. And she just published her first children's book. The walk is looking good. She's competed for many years, a lot of determination here. She's really beautiful, and I feel like she's just incredibly intelligent and dynamic, so I love that about her. I can't wait to watch her compete. By the way, I need to mention that some ladies are not on this list because I have not been able to find that much about them on social media. I don't have clips of their walks for you. I don't have enough images. I just don't know enough about them from their bio to warrant them being on my pre-preliminary list. California is a model represented by Next and Ford. She's very beautiful on stage. She has such glowing skin. Oh my goodness. She has height. Obviously, that is going to draw the eye to her. She's also quite photogenic, obviously being a model. And let me read you this little excerpt from her bio. So she is a minor in psychology, and she's a sergeant in the Army National Guard, serving her community as a public relations and marketing manager. She also shared that her grandmother has Alzheimer's, but it wasn't clear that she was doing any work to fundraise for Alzheimer's research or to work with people that are affected by Alzheimer's. That confused me a little bit because I don't think that you should mention causes that you don't actually champion in your bios or on your pageant resumes. If you look at fan pictures of her online, you're gonna see a lot of side-by-side images of her in her uniform and then her in her crown and sash, and I think that that's great and fine, but I really hope that she's found some other way to brand herself at the competition. I feel like Deshauna Barber was not crowned that long ago in 2016, so I feel like Deshauna was that first woman to be in the military, and that's who we think of. So I feel like if that's her main branding point, then it won't be quite as effective as it was for Deshauna. Next, we have Florida. Let me share a little bit about her. She has degrees in communications and digital media studies and a Juris Master's from the College of Law. Caroline has a passion and dedication for public service, being a former first grade teacher in her hometown and now serving as a senior legislative aide to a Florida state senator. She's looking pretty good. I have to say I really loved her styling at her state pageant, and as you should, because Florida is a really difficult state to win, very competitive, pretty high numbers there. So she looked fantastic there. The walk, I will say, is looking pretty good. Can she still continue to work on it? Yes, I think so. I liked her images leading up to the pageant, but what confused me is her departure outfit, because I was just expecting a little bit more, just judging by her social media profile. I thought that she would have wore something quite a bit more creative, but I'm hoping to see a lot more from her leading up to preliminaries. Maryland. Let's learn a little bit more. She is the first Zambian American to compete locally and nationally for the Miss USA title. Being the U.S. Zambia Tourism Ambassador, she facilitates tourism and the overall development of the country, unifying the relationship between the United States and Zambia. Savina is a licensed real estate broker and transaction manager who has served Fortune 500 companies. She's the co-founder of the nonprofit organization Daughters Pride Foundation, serving families impacted by poverty. When I saw video footage of her at her state pageant, I thought she looks so similar to Kyra McCullough, Miss USA 2017. This would be like the straight hair version of Kyra. She looks really, really beautiful on stage. She is such a sweetheart. I met her in person at Miss New York USA. She literally just glows. My concern for her is onstage question, because she did a great job answering her onstage question and clearly she won her state pageant, but I think that you need to look just a little bit more relaxed for that presentation. Remember, ladies, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. That delivery counts. Should be no surprise, but New York is on this list. Let's learn more about her. Rochelle was accepted to American Ballet Theater's Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis School on full scholarship, followed by ABT's studio company, and eventually performing with ABT professionally. Since the age of 4 years old, she was fighting a secret battle as a survivor of sexual assault. Rochelle's charitable work with the RAIN organization is near and dear to her heart. Part of her platform is helping other victims, so sharing her own story publicly during her first pageant was a big part of her healing. Women everywhere should know that their past doesn't affect their self-worth and who they are. Very true. She's been a pretty big fan favorite. She is also a professional model in New York. She is so tall and statuesque, very, very photogenic. My concern for her though, because I've noticed this, prior to her win this past year, she placed in the top 20 at Miss New York USA in 2022, and in 2021, she was in the top 5. She surprised a lot of people that she didn't win in 2021 or 2022 and didn't make the top 5 cut in 2022. What I've noticed though is her walk was a little bit inconsistent. It's important in a pageant that we stay on a straight line when we're walking, mainly for camera angles during a live telecast. The cameras are essentially timed and they can't just be like following people all over the runway, so they just kind of stay put. When I watched her 2022 performance, her walk was sort of wavering on the stage and she needs to stay really, really straight. And I still see this a little bit here and there, even on social media. You can see in this clip. I've talked about this before. When we're competing in pageants, we want to walk on one track and not 2 tracks. And as you can see from the beginning of this video, she's on those 2 tracks. If you start on the 2 tracks and you get to the one or vice versa, it can really affect your balance and it can affect how straight of a line you're walking on stage. So I do have concerns for her walk in that way. I think that she still needs to work on control. My other concern is her onstage answer. At Miss New York USA, I watched this year in person and she shared her answer and all of us were looking at each other in the audience like, wait, was that it? Is she gonna say more? We were all pretty shocked at how short it was. Now, I think she was still able to pull out that win because first runner up, Zoe, her answer was very similar. It was also so short to the point where once again, the audience kind of looked at each other and was like, Is she going to elaborate? Is she going to say any more? So I think when it came down to it, she was still able to win. I think that if the first runner-up in New York, USA had elaborated a little bit more on her answer, then she could have outplaced Rochelle. But with the way things turned out, and if you think about the overall performance, I think that led to Rochelle's win, but you can't take that for granted at a national pageant. And so I do think that she needs to spend some time elaborating on her answers some more. I just don't think it would cut it at a national pageant. Connecticut is someone that I did not notice until I started looking at the contestant profiles, and I feel like she may be somebody who surprises everyone. Here's something from her bio. She's a registered nurse on a medical telemetry unit at Yale New Haven Hospital. She's an advocate for health in all of its dimensions, working closely with the American Heart Association, Alzheimer's Association, and American Cancer Society, among several other organizations. She has numerous awards for her academic and philanthropic work. She's somebody who kind of boggles my mind because I feel like the clip that I found of her walking is looking pretty good, but then I also think that her images and her styling are pretty inconsistent, and that worries me at Miss USA. Like, you need to see consistency prior to the competition to have a better idea of how they'll actually do at Miss USA and Miss Universe. Now, granted, that doesn't always happen. Okay, sometimes we see contestants with incredible style, and then you see their styling at that national or the international level, and you're like, what in the world happened? But usually it's a good indicator. If you're consistent prior to the competition, you'll probably come in with good style at the competition. Nebraska, many of you have been noticing, I'm sure. She is stunning. I think that she has a great walk in general and posing, but all of it needs to be less tense. I feel like she's so fit, and sometimes when she's transitioning between poses, you can see a lot of tension in the neck, and it's like you just gotta loosen it up for on stage, and I feel like that will improve her evening gown score. But she is beautiful, she's photogenic, she's super fit, and there's a lot more to her than just that. She attended the University of Nebraska, where she studied elementary education and danced as a Husker Scarlet. There she served as head of the Technique and Skills Committee, the Choreography Committee, captain, and was the first Husker Scarlet to earn first team All Big Ten. Mimi's primary goal is to make a difference in children's lives through dance. To accomplish that, she founded her nonprofit, Project Believe and Achieve, that helps children to unlock their full potential. Mimi is an advisory board member for the YMCA and uses her position to advocate for Nebraska's youth. I love her. I think she's got a great package. Let's learn a little bit more about my next pre-preliminary fave, who is Georgia. She embarked on her entrepreneurial journey at 15, becoming a full-time content creator and later fulfilling her dream of launching Shop 814, her online clothing boutique. Passionate about empowering young women, Rachel initiated #InfluenceHerIRL, or in real life, promoting self-confidence, mental health awareness, and entrepreneurship. She combines that with her passion of serving as a director of community outreach for Novatrition, a nonprofit organization that makes a difference by helping to provide free mental health services to children and families in Atlanta. So she's doing a lot of great work here. What I really like about her is Georgia's a competitive state, so she went through a lot already to win Georgia. We see a good walk and stage presence, and that's all great and fine, but it takes a little bit more than that to win Miss USA. What I like, though, is that she's a full-time content creator, and when Layla Rose took over the Miss USA organization, there were statements made online that what are we looking for in a new Miss USA in this new era? And they talked about the use of social media. I have been preaching this, or shall I say screaming this at the top of my lungs, for years on this channel, the importance of social media in the new era of pageantry and why I think contestants need to make it a part of their pageant prep. It's literally why I created the Content Queen course, where I am showing you and teaching you how to use social media as a title holder to leverage it for your year, to yes, help you win that next title, but also to give you opportunities far outside of pageantry, things that'll really change your world. The fact that Georgia has experience in this, and if you look at her social media, she's been doing a great job, I think it's something that they're going to be looking at and considering, so this could give her a special advantage. Nevada, let's talk about her. She was born a third-generation oil field worker, but she is the only female and one of only 3% of women in her field. As a chemical account manager on a Shell offshore oil and gas platform, she works closely with the Environmental Protection Agency to ensure clean production. Her mission is to encourage women to pursue STEM and male-dominated fields. Josie has a bachelor's in chemical engineering and minors in mathematics, chemistry, and bioprocessing engineering. Oh my goodness. She is one of the few contestants this year who also competed at Miss Louisiana. I feel like Louisiana has become the new California in terms of state hopping. So she competed there. She was a favorite there, but I think that she's grown since competing there. One thing I noticed about her walk in the past when preparing for Louisiana, it was quite fast and bouncy, and that's not a good combination for a USA state winner. So currently, she is working with Ania Garcia, who was Miss Rhode Island USA 2015. It looks like her walk is improving. I'm hoping that it will, and honestly, I would really love to see her compete with straight hair. I feel like that would be such a look for her, but she does typically compete with her hair curled. Pennsylvania is a former Miss Pennsylvania Teen USA, so look out. We have quite a few former teens this year. She is a proud woman in tech, working as a client manager for a digital marketing agency. Her entrepreneurial spirit motivated her to also start her own boutique-style digital marketing agency, helping small businesses nationwide create impactful websites and build a social media presence. Love that. Great walk here. She has a lot of style, I will say that too. So I like how she has a really memorable look. It's not only just the hair, it's everything that she wears. She looks stunning on red carpets. Okay, she looks like that girl. So I love her, very excited about her. She's definitely on my list. Rhode Island's look reminds me of Minnesota's last year. I think she's really beautiful. She was also a former Miss Rhode Island Teen USA. I like her style. I'm liking her look. I took a look at some videos of her walk for her state pageant. I do think it can be improved a little bit, but if she has a really strong interview, then I think that she can definitely be advancing. Let's learn a little more about her. She studied broadcast journalism and entrepreneurial studies. She is a program manager for Amazon Web Services, where she writes a weekly newsletter for a global audience of 68,000 people. Mary volunteers with the Best Buddies organization that creates opportunities for people who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. Additionally, Mary is a certified crisis counselor with the Crisis Text Time. She cares about mental health. That's a really important topic. She talks about that openly on social media. She's done a great job sharing about that, in my opinion. And also, she has great style. I loved her evening gown at her state competition, so I can't wait to see what she wears for nationals. I feel like she can be advancing. Texas is originally from Colombia. She migrated to the US at age 5 with her family to pursue the American dream. Her life took a profound turn when her mother was diagnosed with ALS, leading to her becoming her mother's full-time caregiver. She cherished every moment with her mom until her passing in December 2022. She also partners with the National and Texas ALS associations. Oh my gosh, that kills me to read. Being a caregiver is it's a depleting job, but it's also such a great honor when you get to care for somebody who loves you and who cared for you so much. So that really touched my heart, and I just wish the best for her. Not even at USA, oh my gosh, every dream in life, I wish it for you. She is a really beautiful contestant, obviously very fit, comes from an incredibly competitive state, and is hoping for that back-to-back win, which obviously is difficult to do, but I do believe she has the qualifications for that. She is stunning. Her evening gown at her state pageant was created by Ryan Fernandez, who also designed Albany's Texas USA gown, Miss USA gown, and Miss Universe gowns. So I'm wondering if she'll be working with him again for nationals. I hope so. She looked incredible there. I cannot wait to see what she brings to the USA stage. And honestly, I wish her the best of luck in this competition and in life, because I just know, like, gosh, her mom passed in 2022. That is still so fresh, honestly. It's so fresh. Just God bless her, honestly. Wisconsin, this is interesting. So we have another former teen contestant competing, but listen to this bio. 21-year-old overachiever, excels in academics, graduating early from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, majoring in political science. Her future holds strong leadership with Unicorp National Development, as she is currently obtaining her real estate license, actively engaging in charitable endeavors. She founded Catwalk for a Cause in 2017, hosting fashion show fundraisers for the American Family Children's Hospital. No stranger to setting high standards, having represented Wisconsin at Miss Teen USA at 15, her life's message centers on defying age-based limitations. In touch with youth, she states that age should not determine capabilities. She is also the youngest in the class of 2023 to win, which is surprising. Being 21 and the youngest, usually you get somebody in there that was like 19 or 20, but wow, the ages really are going up in recent years. So she is stunning, photogenic, she's a model, well-styled. She could easily be in a top 5 as well. Quite qualified, but I feel like her bio is so of the time with the new announcement about them removing the age limit restrictions. The fact that she's talking about age in her bio and kind of making it a part of her brand. Now, obviously, she's on the opposite of that end, right? Like, she's talking about being young. But you could easily share that same message and say, you know, I happen to be young right now in this industry, but regardless of your age, for other women, older women, you know, don't let that age define what you're doing either, whether you're young or you're old. What an easy message that would be to relay in an onstage question, and very on brand. That could be a winning answer right there. Virginia. Ashley made history by becoming the first Caribbean American with roots in Jamaica and Turks and Caicos Island to be named Miss Virginia USA. With years of experience as an event coordinator, she works with government contracting executives and is grateful for the opportunity to connect our nation's leaders. Ashley was able to combine her passion for dance and serving the community by becoming an NFL cheerleader. She is always stunning, and she has some of the best style that I've seen from all of the contestants this year, so I cannot wait to see all of her looks on every image, red carpet, photo shoots, just lives, anything. She just looks gorgeous all the time. She always looks ready to go, and I feel like that's something that really helps you as a Miss USA, is always looking ready for an appearance, ready for an event, and that is her. I cannot wait for her. She's one of my standouts as well. DC, I know, has to be on so many people's lists, and for good reason. Let me read a little bit about her for you. She advocates for cancer awareness as a legislative ambassador with the American Cancer Society and volunteers with organizations that educate communities on the early stages of cancer with the goal of enabling people to seek treatment at earlier stages. She's the founder of Cancer Collections, a panelist series that promotes cancer awareness, a digital press secretary in the U.S. House of Representatives, and proudly advocated for the Find It Early Act, which would ensure all health insurance plans cover screening and diagnostic breast imaging for women at a higher risk for breast cancer without incurring out-of-pocket costs. She desires to obtain a master's degree in public policy and become a political strategist who advocates for social issues. Do not tell me that women in pageantry do not have beauty and brains. She is a perfect example of this. Oh my gosh, I am already feeling that she's in my top 5, honestly. Of course, things happen on stage and we have to watch prelims, and I'll give you an update then. But up until this point, she is stunning, and she's also giving me Miss Universe Columbia 2015, okay? Do you see that? Do you see that comparison? I can see that. Hawaii? Holy cow, where has she been on my feed? Why haven't I seen her absolutely everywhere for favorites? Hawaii is very special. So I looked at her performances. I do think that her walk needs a little bit more of a crossover. Right now she's walking on 2 tracks and we need to walk on 1 for pageants. That's a really slight change. It looks like she's been working on this, so her performance will only get better. But Hawaii is so gorgeous and stunning. She looks incredible on social media. Let me share a little bit more about her. She is a professional model, entrepreneur, and program director for What Makes You Feel Beautiful, a 501c3 nonprofit organization that is based in Maui. As the co-founder of Eco House, a boutique hotel set to open in Bali in 2024, she is certified in youth mental health first aid and has been trained in youth suicide and bullying prevention by Mental Health America of Hawaii organization. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So she has her cause, and that's overall mental health for youth, but also she is about to be a major boss babe. I have to say that. The fact that she's co-founding a boutique hotel in Bali, girl, call me up. I've been meaning to go to Bali. Let me go vlog there. Let's do some content together, Miss Hawaii. You know what? I better send you a little DM. Anyways, she's fantastic. The walk, though, like I said, I think it's improving. It's looking better. Look at how she works it on the red carpet. Look at her in images. She's just flawless every day. She now is in my top 5. Well, at least my dream top 5. I want her to be there. I'm obsessed with her. What would this episode be without South Carolina? Kirby was first runner-up at Miss Teen USA in 2018. I was in the audience watching that performance. She was one of my favorites from that year. She was fantastic. She has aged so well into the Miss division, but let me share a little bit more about her from her bio. Kirby is an upstate South Carolina coordinator for the Council of Educational Travel USA, a nonprofit that partners with the Department of State to facilitate high school exchange programs. She is currently earning a master's degree in corporate sustainability and innovation from the Harvard Extension School. An entrepreneur, Kirby has been granted a provisional patent for an invention and received the South Carolina Department of Commerce's Young Entrepreneurs Award. A former 3-time state champion in track and field, Coach Kirby enjoys mentoring young girls by volunteering for the nonprofit Girls on the Run. I couldn't find her competing at her state pageant. This is not a competition walk video, but generally she has a good walk. I can assure you of that. You should just check out her performance at Miss Teen USA, and I'm sure she's only grown from there. She wore a beautiful evening gown at her state competition. I loved it. She's really, really effortless, and she has such a natural beauty. She doesn't even need to really wear makeup, so I'm loving her. Can't wait to see her. I can definitely see her back in a top 5. Noelia, Utah. I think more people need to be talking about her. She embodies the essence of a transformational leader and a force for good. As an interior design student, her dream is to establish her own design firm and host a TV show where she gives back to families in need of a home makeover. Her bilingual background as a Venezuelan American woman enriches her cultural perspective. As the daughter of a Venezuelan immigrant, immigration rights are incredibly important to her. With a remarkable commitment to advocacy, Noelia has championed dating violence awareness and prevention for 6 years alongside the One Love Foundation. She's incredible. Let's also keep in mind she was first runner-up at Miss Alabama USA, and when she was a teen, she was first runner-up at Miss Florida Teen USA. So she has a lot of onstage experience. That's not even the best thing about her. I love how she's been sharing on social media in English and in Spanish, conducting interviews in English and in Spanish. I love that now that she got to Miss USA, you can check her out right here. She's just walking around the hotel before everything gets going, and she's just interviewing people about pageantry in general, and she's just like getting to know people, talking to them, interacting with them. That's going to be part of what you do as a Miss USA. She went through a lot of media interviews right after her state pageant. Granted, she was crowned a little bit later in the year, so she didn't have as much time for appearances as other contestants have had, but she's still done an incredible job. She's also been working with Venezuelan walking coach Giselle, very, very infamous walking coach that has trained a ton of title holders. So I'm loving that for her. She is so photogenic. She's so sweet. And I feel like she's one of the contestants that is ready to go for Miss Universe. And really you're gonna have to be because it's around the corner. She's in my top 5. Which contestant is standing out the most to you though? Who are you loving? Who are you excited for? Who do you think is gonna represent us at Miss Universe 2023 in El Salvador? Let me know. I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this. Of course, let's be very respectful to the contestants in the comments. They do read it. Let's be really encouraging and positive and just supportive of one another. Thank you for tuning into this episode. I really hope that you check out my other recent Miss USA coverage episodes as well. And of course, let me know what you want to see next on the channel. Love you, and I'll see you real soon.